Well, a happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome to Wallace, North Carolina. We're on location this week for the Black and Gold Report at the River Landing Golf Club, and glad all of you can be with us. The Sunoco Campbell Oil Classic was played here this last week. Braves Golf was here to take on the rest of the 11-team field in the tournament. We're going to get to that today as we talk a lot about that tournament of this past week that was played on Monday and Tuesday. The Braves finishing with a team-best second-place finish here in the Campbell Oil Classic. That was their team-best second-place finish on the season. They had a big victory over a top 15 opponent in NCAA competition as well. We'll talk about that today. We've got a lot to get to on the Black and Gold Report. We'll have a busy one. We're going to talk about Brave athletics in the week outside of what happened here at the golf club. We'll also take a look at this golf tournament in depth. Then we'll talk about the Braves in their sports empowerment program this week, which was a lot of fun to watch. And we're also going to take a look at the career of Dan Kenny at UNC Pembroke. Congratulations to the former UNCP athletic director who's also worn many hats at UNCP, was a former basketball coach as well, and then worked in the chancellor's office. We're going to talk about his fantastic career on the Black and Gold Report this week. A lot of very exciting things to get to here from Wallace, North Carolina. And we're going to start with a look back at the week that was for UNCP athletics, as the Braves have many other teams in action outside of the golfers on the course. Let's take a look.
Back to Peach Belt Conference play we go here on the UNCP Sports Network. Next on its way from Leviner. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Good way to start the contest for Mallory Leviner. One gone. Drop ball. Swing and a miss. That's the second today for Mallory Leviner. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Back-to-back Ks to close out the inning for Mallory Leviner. Leviner looking for the K. Gets it on the outside corner. Fourth of the day for Mallory Leviner. Next on its way from Marcano. Gerhardt delivers this one to deep left field. It's out of here. Johnson sends this one to right field. This should end the game. Genevieve Mangiani is there and makes the play, and the Braves fall 8-2 today.
It's the one in the air to right field. It's got some life going. It's going back to the track, looking up. You'll see it later. Off the base of the light tower in right field for Trey Jacobs. And a big homer against Shawan, and the solo shot to put the Braves ahead in the bottom of the fourth. His last 6 games, a swing and a miss, as Burton able to recover and come back with the strikeout. Back-to-back home run games of the years. He lines it to left center field, gaps this with wheels on, looking for a double. This turn to second with a throw cut off behind second, but not in time on the double for Trey Jacobs. He had hits in all the Georgia College games. Looking at the wrong column there. Ground ball to the left side, deep into the hole. This should score the run with Hardings legging it out up the first base line. To dead center, deepest part of the yard. Put the Pacers ahead. A swing and a miss and a tag applied by Trevor Clemens for back-to-back Ks. And he does it on the outer half. 3 pitches, see you later, Niall Goings. They walked off game 2 of their doubleheader, and the breaking ball is perfect from Deal. Making a 4th. Swung on and missed by Rogers. Big spot here, top of the 9th. Deal gets his man, a fastball past Bonilla. Braves have a chance to cook now in the home half of the 9th. Down by a run. Almost hits Perkins and does. Brushed his jersey on the inside. Good call on their side. Rivera showing bunt, pulls it back for ball 4. Claps those hands as he works the walk. 2 on, none gone for Clemens. He shows bunt, puts it down third base side. Well placed, Calvo's got to go to first, and a good sacrifice for Trevor Clemens. Big spot, second and third. He's got Trey Jacobs behind him, was the hero on Tuesday. Granger hits it up the middle, past second. Coming around third to score for the Braves is Roberto Rivera, and the Braves walk it off. Game 1 winner and back-to-back walk-offs.
Great week for the Braves. Of course, we're still missing the recap of this golf tournament. We're going to talk about that after we take a break here on the Black and Gold Report. We'll come back, tell you all about this tournament, how Maddie Corley, the freshman phenom for the Braves, fared, as well as the rest of this UNCP team as they carded a team best second-place finish on this season. We'll talk about that when we come back right after this here on the Black and Gold Report.
I came to the University of North Carolina and look for big school opportunities at a place that feels like home.
I love our rich diversity and strong traditions.
And because UNCP is an NC Promise school, I'll graduate with a world-class education without a mountain of debt.
Learn more and apply today at uncp.edu or call 910-521-6262. Our promise, your opportunity. uncp.edu.
I have big plans for my future, and I can get there from here.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
It's on us to not be bystanders.
And to stop and make sure someone is okay.
It's on us to not use language that demeans anyone.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us to look out for each other.
To not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
Brave Nation, it's on us.
All of us, to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. Glad to be with you from Wallace, North Carolina, from the Sunoco Campbell Oil Classic at River Landing Golf Club. The Braves were here this week to take on an 11-team field. They ended up finishing second. That was their best team finish of the season. Maddie Corley also led all Brave scores. Let's take a look at the tournament recap. We're here with golf head coach David Synan. And coach, you guys just came off the Sunoco Campbell Oil Classic. You guys come in second. We'll get to that, but let's talk first about this tournament. Kind of a long-standing relationship you guys have had with Matt Campbell, and what was it like to host this tournament here over the last couple of days?
It was fantastic. This is our second women's tournament, and this spring tournament with Campbell Oil and now Sunoco started back in 2000 with, I believe, John Haskins and Wendell at Georgia College. But it started way back in 2000, and we just love having the tradition going this time of year.
When you guys look at this golf club here and the course conditions at the River Landing Golf Club, you guys were on the landing course. How did you see the course kind of playing the last couple of days? Obviously some tricky conditions on day one, and can you talk about that a little bit and kind of what the golfers faced over the 2 days?
It was very, very challenging. Probably when we started both days, it was in the 30s and very cold. They got a lot of rain here Saturday night, so it was wet, cold, windy. It was very difficult.
And when we talk about those conditions, how did you think all the teams obviously had to deal with it, but how did you think your team in particular was able to kind of handle those conditions and work through the 2 days?
Our team did fantastic. We love it when it's tough and when it's nasty because it's easy to beat people. When some people are complaining, it gives your team the opportunity to not complain, and it's really easy to beat people when it's tough.
You guys ended up knocking off a top 15 team, in fact, a number 11 team in the country here over the 2 days. What does that mean? I mean, you guys had some great competition here. What can your team take from that in terms of moving forward and getting a big victory in that way?
It's excellent momentum beating Wingate's, that top 15 team. They're a very good program and probably going to make NCAA regionals. So it's really good momentum heading into the App State tournament this weekend and then the conference tournament in mid-April.
You had a chance to be around the course and kind of see some of your student athletes out there in the middle of these 3 rounds. So what did you see from some of the individuals? Can you talk about their performances, some stuff you like, some of the things you want to build on as you work forward with those 5 who scored and a lot of individuals who played as well?
Yep, we saw a lot of good stuff. We had 9 people play total, so the 4 individuals got good experience for next year. And then the top 5, a lot of good stuff, still some sloppy short game, but it is golf, and when you're wearing 3 layers of clothing and it's windy and it's 39 degrees, like everyone's going to miss a putt or two and mess up a chip. But like overall, like just thrilled with the second place finish.
Maddie Corley ended up being your guys' top finisher on the individual side of things. How have you seen Maddie's game kind of develop this year, and where is she at right now in the progression heading towards hopefully a conference tournament and then the NCAAs?
She's doing really good. She's super consistent, very confident. Today, just nothing fell for her. She hit it really good, but like just could not make a putt outside of maybe 4 feet. And she's on the bubble probably for NCAA regionals, like has a good chance at it. I hope she makes it. And has a good chance probably at PBC Freshman of the Year, hopefully, but you never know. But she's doing fantastic, getting better and better. She's our little 22-year-old freshman, but she doesn't play like a freshman, you could say.
Another player you had kind of mentioned today was Savannah Thompson, carding one of her better scores of late. What did you see from Savannah here during the competition, and especially into her final round?
I think today she was inspired. She was, I don't know, something I saw in her first tee shot. Like she really went after it and was very aggressive. And sometimes she can be a little passive. She's a very nice person, and sometimes golfers can be too nice. But today she was tough, and I believe birdied the 17th hole, solid par on 18 to bring it home, and she was absolutely huge for us, moving from tied for second to second.
And last thing, Coach, you guys move on in conference action. What's the message to the team as you head out of this tournament into your next, and what do you guys talk about going forward here towards the tail end of the regular season?
We keep talking about momentum and confidence, and this is the 3rd term in a row we've been 100% healthy, you could say, and it makes a big difference. So we're just keeping it going. We're not pushing them too hard. We're trying to be mindful of little injuries and sore bodies that we keep nursing, but like they're doing really good, and we're just looking forward to App State and then the conference tournament.
All right, we're looking forward to that, Coach. Thank you, and congratulations on that second place finish.
Great. Thanks a lot, man.
Back here on the Black and Gold Report, glad to have you with us in Wallace, North Carolina, where we've been on location this week at the River Landing Golf Club. Very fun week of action in the golf tournament. The Braves also held a sports empowerment program at home in Pembroke. We had a chance to check it out and see the student athletes in action with local high school students at UNCP.
So the Sports Empowerment Program was started to bring students from the community who are in the self-contained classrooms who maybe don't get to interact with their peers a lot onto campus, as well as inviting their peers to come onto campus to play different sports. In the past, we've taught them different softball skills and then played a game of softball, but this year we're letting them kind of experiment with a lot of different sports. And so the goal at the end of the day is to create a more inclusive environment and community where students can go back to their schools and into their community and understand each other a little bit better and interact in a better way.
That was a great program there by the Braves and a lot of fun to watch this week at UNCP. We're here in Wallace, North Carolina. We're going to take another time out. We'll come back and we're going to talk about Dan Kenny, who's retiring from UNCP and had an illustrious career with the Braves. We'll talk about that right when we come back here on the Black and Gold Report. Back on the Black and Gold Report in Wallace, North Carolina at the River Landing Golf Club. And we said we'd talk about Dan Kenny. What a career he had as a Brave assistant coach, then a head coach, an athletic director, and finally working in the chancellor's office as well. He was even an interim chancellor once. We talk all about that as we're celebrating the retirement of Dan Kenny here on the Black and Gold Report. Without further ado, let's look at that fantastic UNCP career.
A 1975 and 1977 graduate of East Carolina, Dan Kenny's collision course with the school that he would call home for 41 years began in 1977 when he joined Joe Gallagher's men's basketball staff as an assistant coach and professor in the Health, Physical Education, and Recreation Department at then Pembroke State University. Under the direction of Gallagher in 1977 and 1978, as well as head coach Billy Lee from 1978 to 1980, the Braves combined to record 42 victories before Dan was lured away to serve as an assistant coach on Steve Cottrell's staff at Western Carolina, while also serving as cross-country head coach for the Catamounts.
And I think it's sad that Dan's leaving because it's UNC Pembroke's loss. He's done a lot of marvelous things here today, and I thought President Cummings said the same thing. He kept me in the right direction because he was coming in from a different field, and Dan had been here. Dan had been in athletics, he'd been an assistant coach, he went to Western Carolina, he went to Winthrop. He had been around the state and the area. That's a plus.
After 5 years in Cullowhee, Dan returned to Pembroke in 1985, but this time to take the reins of the men's basketball program and steer it through one of the most prosperous eras in program history. The Braves recorded nearly 125 victories in 7 seasons under Kenny, while also staking claim to 3 Conference Carolinas championships. In 1990-1991, Pembroke State turned in what still stands as the best record in school history when the Braves finished with a 27-5 mark and yet another trip to the NAIA district playoffs.
I want to thank him for a lot of the things that have happened in my life positively, starting with meeting my wife the first day of school. And if he hadn't given me the opportunity to come to Pembroke and be a player, I don't know where I'd be. It opened up just a lifetime of opportunities, and all my kids and everything that's come from the relationships that have, that have started through him allowing me to be here. I can't ever repay him for giving me that opportunity.
The time to say goodbye to Pembroke came again following the 1991 and 1992 campaign when he made the short trip to Rock Hill, South Carolina to serve as head coach at Winthrop. After guiding the Eagles men's basketball program for 6 seasons, as if by cue, Pembroke came calling again, but this time with a more prominent role. Dan's influence on Pembroke State during his previous 2 stints in southeastern North Carolina could not have been more evident as he became the school's 8th Director of Athletics in 1998, a position he would serve in for 14 years until moving to his current role in Lumbee Hall.
But in many ways, Dan has been a mentor to me. One of the things I learned from Dan Kenny, he's one of the most fanatically organized people I have ever been around. And secondly, he's so positive. I don't know what you would have to do to stop Dan from being positive. And it's contagious.
UNC Pembroke experienced a golden era of athletic competition under Kenny's watch, one that inevitably resulted in the school's highest ranking in the Learfield Sports Directors Cup standings following the 2010-2011 athletic season. UNCP's athletic team has qualified for the NCAA postseason on 21 occasions during Kenny's tenure, while being represented 50 times by individual qualifiers. An educator at heart, Kenny's student-athletes earned presidential honor roll honors from the league more than 1,100 times under his watch, while also capturing 4 PBC Student Athlete of the Year laurels. A total of 37 Braves earned national academic honors under his leadership, with another 25 being named to academic all-district or all-region squads.
He's had an amazing career, he's had a fulfilling career, and he's changed the lives of thousands of students and alumni on this campus. He has left his legacy here without a doubt.
During his tenure as athletics director, UNCP expanded its varsity athletic program to include 3 more sports. The women's soccer team began playing the 2001 season. Women's golf teed off for the first time during the 2006-2007 campaign, and football made its return to southeastern North Carolina on September 1st, 2007. He was also at the forefront of a major fundraising movement to build support for Braves athletics. He was named the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics Southeast Region Athletic Director of the Year in 2006, and is the namesake for the department's Coach of the Year award, as well as an endowed scholarship. He would also go on to represent UNCP as a member of the inaugural class of the Peach Belt Conference Hall of Fame in May 2016.
Say Dan is clearly a leader. He's mentored an entire generation of UNCP folks and others as well, simply by his example, by his listening skills, by all of who he is and what he's brought to the table. Dan Kenny would have succeeded in any organization you would have put him in. He would have risen to the top through his ability to listen and to care for people, his work ethic, his tenacity. We're just fortunate that UNCP has been the institution where we've gotten to see the direct benefits of all of his work.
For 36 years, Dan Kenny's knack to make a positive impact on everybody he came in contact with, both in and outside the world of athletics, as well as both in Pembroke and across the country, was truly evident. In November of 2012, that talent took him into a new realm of higher education as UNC Pembroke honed those talents and his abilities to be a bridge builder across campus into a position as Chief of Staff at the Chancellor's Office. For the next 5 years, he was able to use his coaching skills to orchestrate the university's senior leadership team. He will retire with yet another rung on his ladder of success in that position as well.
Dan brings a lot of things to the organization. I think what he brings is a heart and a passion, a commitment to impacting the university in any way that he can. Dan and I talk often about the qualities of what does it mean to be a leader, and I look at Dan as really the ultimate servant leader. And this is a term that's, I know it's near and dear to him, and I think the highest compliment that anybody can pay to a leader is that characteristic.
For 43 years, Dan Kenny has led by example. UNC Pembroke was blessed that over 30 of those years were dedicated to the Braves in various capacities. Whether assistant basketball coach, athletics director, or interim chancellor, Dan Kenny left the people that he came in contact with better than they were before having worked with him. That is a truly special talent, and one that Dan shared with so many people and will continue to share in his retirement.
Well, it's been a pleasure having Dan in the athletic department. He's going to be sorely missed going forward. Very, very hard shoes to fill. In fact, they probably never will be filled in quite the same way that Dan wore them throughout the athletic department. The Braves very thankful for him. We're very thankful for him, as well as thankful to all of you for being with us this week on the Black and Gold Report. It was fun to be here in Wallace, North Carolina at the River Landing Golf Club. Great hospitality here and a fantastic golf tournament with those Braves finishing second in that team finish. Maddie Corley leading their individual side, and another great week of Braves athletics now behind us. We look forward to this next week and having all of you with us. For more information, check it out on uncpbraves.com as well as on YouTube by checking out UNCP Sports. It's going to be fun to see all of you in Pembroke in the coming weeks as baseball and softball continue to heat up towards the finish of their seasons. Also, don't forget PBC Track and Field Championships just on the horizon, and the rest of the great Braves action still to come, including golf working forward into their postseason. Until next week, this is Trevor Williams wishing you a pleasant rest of your Saturday here from Wallace, North Carolina. You've been watching the Black and Gold Report on the UNCP Sports Network.